Hey everybody, welcome to the new edition of our micro lesson series. Today we're going to be talking about borrowing setups. Some of you may call this stealing setups, but I like to put a positive spin on it because you're only borrowing them from yourself. And basically what this is going to amount to is you taking a preset arrangement that's already been made for you either by the gang at Lowry or the gang at Yamaha, and plucking that arrangement out and allowing you then to use it with any style that you have available to you. I think a lot of times we assume that however the arrangement comes up is how we need to use it, and they're not transferable to other rhythms. So to give you an example, maybe you like the gospel setups, but you'd love to use those setups with a ballad or with a foxtrot or whatever the case may be, a waltz even. You could change the time signature. But anyhow, we're going to show this. This is via a student question all the way out in California, believe it or not, that was watching our program that actually has a clavinova. And so I'm going to show you the clavinova first, but this is also transferable over to the Lowry as well, and we'll finish up with that. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I'll tell you all about the ways you can touch base with us at the end of the video. We'll see you soon. All right. So I have us set at a bit of an odd angle today because I wanted you to be able to see both the screen that we have here as well as the Onetouch settings over on the right-hand side. Now these Onetouch settings are basically, for those of you that are watching that have Lowrys, they are akin to your style setups, or what used to be called rhythm presets. And so these Onetouch settings give me arrangements that I can use that are pre-programmed based upon the type of music that I'm playing. So I've chosen an organ style here. It's called organ swing. And once I chose that organ style, I have access to some mostly organ sounds over here, with I think the exception of one is kind of like a digital piano. But you can hear that I have, that's one organ sound. I have a second organ sound. I have, this is that electric piano, they call it the suitcase hard, which sounds like that. And then the fourth here is a Hammond organ, as you can see the picture of the Hammond there. Now, I can go to any one of these numbers at any point, and I will get a sound that will work well with the beat that I have here, which is an organ-based beat. And just to give you an idea here how you may want to consider setting this up now, I may use my left hand over on this side, which you're not able to see this part of the panel here, but if I hit some buttons on my left, I'd like you to watch these numbers on the right. See them changing? Okay. What's interesting about the Yamahas is that since the clavinova has such a long key base, you know, with the 88 keys, I have the ability to hit some buttons on the left and affect buttons on the right. And that basically is giving me the option to use either hand to make a change. You know, when you think about the Lowrys, all of the buttons are kind of right here in the middle, and you have the two levels of keys, so your hands are like this. Well, when I'm playing on a piano, my right hand's here, my left hand's all the way down here, so I can make a change with both hands, or with either hand is probably a better way to put it. So you may see these buttons over here changing, and I don't want you to think I'm doing anything without telling you. It just sometimes is easier to use my left hand to make a change than my right. So I'll play a little organ-based arrangement here. I don't exactly know what I'm going to play. I probably should have thought about this before I did the video, but we'll figure it out together here on the way. So we'll put a little introduction on. I'm going to play a chord. Okay, let's start with, how about Sunny Side of the Street? So no sheet music there, so sorry for a couple mistakes here or there, but I just wanted to give you an illustration as to how you can take that arrangement of sounds. Now, that was very heavily organ-based, and you might say, you know what, I'd love to take those sounds and plop them off of that background so that I could play them with another background or without a background at all. And this is where borrowing the setups comes into play. This is essentially what our lesson is about today. How you can take these arrangements that you see, the organ pops, and then here's the organ flutes. That was number 2. The third one was that electric piano suitcase, and then finally the Hammond organ here. If you really like those sounds, but you don't want to use that particular beat, you can pluck them off of there. I have some students that like to say it's stealing a preset, but I like to use the word borrowing. And you can always take those sounds and basically pluck them off of the style and use them with any. Now, let me show you how you go about doing this. Now, I did this earlier, and it has to do with memorizing. So I have my memory here, and on these numbers I can put various things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my settings here. So I'm going to go back to setting number 1. And see in the screen it says organ pops, and I'm going to hit memory. Now in the screen I've already done this, but normally this would have been chosen, meaning that it would remember all of these. I want you to read this here. It says, press the desired button to which the panel settings are to be registered or quote unquote memorized. Now it says registered because this is registration memory. From one of the registration memory 1 through 8 buttons and the Onetouch setting 1 through 4 buttons, items may be registered to registration memory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all of these. I could take all of these out if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave all of these with the exception of the style. So what I'm doing is I'm saving everything aside from the style. So from number 1 here, I'm going to go quickly to number 1. Now I'm going to go to number 2. Memory, style still off, number 2. Number 3, memory, number 3. Number 4, memory, number 4. Now on these first 4 buttons, I have the same thing that I have on these first 4 buttons. The difference is that when I use these, I can save, or rather use them, I've already saved them, I can use them with any style over on the left-hand side. So let's say we were to go to a Latin beat, and we'll go to this Brazilian bossa nova here. Now, with my Brazilian bossa nova, I have things like the piano. Number 2, I have the tenor saxophone. Number 3, the Spanish guitar. And number 4, some horns. Now those are all well and good, but let's say that you loved that organ-based arrangement sound that we were using before. Well, here's where this becomes really cool. So here's my beat, and instead of using these numbers, I instead use these. And what comes up? Those organ sounds that I used earlier. I've done again is I've borrowed the Onetouch Settings, what you would akin to probably call the style setups on the Lowrys, and I've plucked them off of one rhythm style, saved them without the style. So then I was able to use them with another beat. So you're not simply limited to what it comes up with naturally. Not that those don't sound good, they sound great. There's a reason why they're there. But you also have that opportunity to take the sounds from another style and utilize them with the style that you'd like. Let's go over and take a look and see how we might do this on a Lowry. So we're going back a couple years here looking at a Lowry Premier because I wanted you to be able to see that this is not something new that all of a sudden has come out. This has been something that you've been able to do for a while. And I also know that some of you have older instruments like Premiers, for example, or Directors, or Sterlings, or Royales, and things along those lines. So I like to not forget about the fact that there are some of you that have some of these vintage instruments, and I want you to know that despite yours not being the newest model on the block, it still does a lot of the things that we speak about from week to week. So now again, here I have my rhythm preset. I can see that right here to the left of my numbered buttons. Now when I choose a beat, let's say I were to go to, I don't know, country. And I have on these numbers different country sounds. So to start out, I have a sound up there. I can change. All sounds that will sound good with a country band, okay? But let's say, for example, that I wanted to pluck some of those sounds off of the country band and play with another style over on the left-hand side there. Well, this is where, let's see if this contrast is, there we go. This is where saving without the style becomes very important, because if I reach up here and hit memorize, and I hit my letter A, because this is how I need to memorize on a Premiere, it's asking me in the screen two very important questions. The one on the left being the one that I'm mostly interested in here, where it says memorizing to preset A. Now, you know, I would want to hit a number as well, so whatever number I'd want to memorize this to. And it says style, no. Now, very often we will default to want that to say with the style. Probably should say with and without, and I think they may have changed it on the Holiday Classic, which was the instrument that came after the Premiere here. But if I leave this on no, which is what it defaults to, what it's going to do essentially is going to save that side of the instrument where all of the instruments themselves are. Things like the pianos and the guitars and the strings and the vocals and the organ sound. And any of those sounds I'm using, including chords, will be remembered without the background beat. So if I just simply turn my memorize off here, now on number one, I've captured and put onto that button the sound that I had when I memorized. But the great thing is now I can go over to ballad, and when I go to that number one, I'm going to get, despite me using ballad, the settings that I saved, but not including a background. Now, one of the benefits of this is that you can retain those numbers and practice using any background you have. I often explain to our students that take lessons here that sometimes you're never really dead set on one style. You know, we may give you a song, it may not be in your song setup, and you say to yourself, well, gosh, there's 5 or 6 styles I think that might sound good with this song, but I want to set up the instruments that I'd like to use. Do I have to wait, you know, from a memorizing standpoint until I've decided upon a rhythm? Well, not only do you not have to wait until then, you can also take pre-existing setups or presets in this case, and then pluck them off of the style and use them with another style. And that is, again, the beauty of memorizing without the beat. So again, just to show you this one more time, I'm going to go over here to March, and I'm going to hit number 5. And the March with number 5 gives me this sound. So it gives me a nice bell sound. Now, if I go to another setup or another style over there on the left, number 5 is likely going to change to something different. For example, let me go to big band here. And again, it is different. If I were to go to waltz, just a regular, they're similar in that they're all percussive sounds like bells and vibes, and chimes are probably one of them as well. But again, let's say I really like that one back on March. That sounds like that. I can retain that. And again, I can put it on any number. I know it's on 5 here. So let's say I want to save it to number 2. So I'm going to go memorize A, number 2. Not saving it with the style. I never transpose, so I'm not going to save it there. So I'm just going to turn my memorize off. So now it says memorize to preset A2 without the style or the transpose. So if I go to A2, there's that sound. I plucked it off of the beat that I was using. Now I can reach up over here. I know you can only see about 4 or 5 of them over here, but I'm going to go to Latin. And look what happens. Same sound. I can go to waltz. Same sound. I can go to ragtime. Again, same sound. So it gives me the opportunity, again, to take an existing arrangement via these preset numbers, essentially pluck them off of the number, and then save them irrespective of the beat, essentially. So what that lets you do is you can use any beat or no beat, actually, for that matter. You could just turn this off, put your easy button on, play a chord, and there's that sound. So it's a really, really nice way to utilize all of the setups that you have, or presets that you have in the case of the Premiere here. So you're not limited to only using one set of numbers. You can use that set of numbers with any style that you have. And once you do that, you really start to open up the total capabilities of your instrument. I hope you enjoyed our lesson this week. I'm very excited to say that we've picked up a bunch of new subscribers this week, and this is great. If you enjoy our lessons, subscribers are really the way to show us that you're enjoying it. And so you can click on the little YouTube video that says subscribe, or if you go directly to our website and subscribe there, you will get all of the future lessons emailed directly to you, so you can make sure you don't miss any. We always are open to taking questions and suggestions for future lessons from viewers like you. So if there's anything that you'd like us to cover, I'll do my best to try to cover it. We have a little bit of a list actually that we've been compiling from viewers regarding questions. And so I'm trying to chop through the list slowly, but anything that we haven't covered that you'd like me to, I'm certainly willing to take a whirl at it. In terms of being able to reach out to us, you can visit our website, which is www.keystofunmusic.com. You can call our studio directly. We got a great phone call the other day from someone in the Midwest. Our phone number is 401-277-9800. If you're in the area here, you can come visit our studio. Our address is 1665 Hartford Avenue. We're located in Johnston, Rhode Island. You can also visit our Facebook page where you'll see some of these videos as well as just pictures from events that we've had in the past. And all you need to do is go on to Facebook, search Keys to Fun Music and Lesson Center, and we should come right up. We are both a Lowry as well as Yamaha Clavinova dealer, and we are willing and able to answer any questions that you have on any of the instruments that either one of those companies make. Thank you very much for joining us. As I say every week, I know your time is valuable, and I really appreciate you wanting to spend a little of it with us. Have a great week. We'll see you next.